Hey y'all, it's Nana A. We're on LilacGrove, which means I finally get my gold balloon, so that I get my recipe for my golden slingshot. So we're gonna open this, get it. This is my 100% island, so this is one thing that I have to do before December 31st. So that's just one more thing I can mark off the list, y'all. It feels good to complete a goal, or partial goal. So let's grab some wood here. Let me just get this, just to make sure we have enough, because we're going to have to make a regular slingshot, and then we can make our gold slingshot. Alright, there's our slingshot. And there's the recipe for the gold one. I'm so excited. Alright. Only a few more tools to go. Okay, what this video is really about is let's continue our entrance. We're going to be doing the left side of the entrance today. Not both, just the left, because I have a vision and I'm trying to get it to come out onto the island like I want it. So we're going to do this in pieces. So this half, we're going to make cliffs over here for sure. I'm pretty sure we'll do it on the other side, but right now we're just going to do some terraforming here. So let's get started. I'm not going to make y'all go through the whole terraforming process because, well, I don't want y'all to get bored right off the bat, y'all. We are going to make it come over to the pathway, and I wasn't sure when I was doing this. This is a voiceover, I forgot to tell you. I wasn't sure how far when I first started, so I was just kind of testing everything, playing around, seeing where I wanted it to go. And at first, I didn't want to take out any of the path. I was trying my best not to do that. And you'll see right here that my best changes my mind for me, because there we went off. So I'm gonna have to fix the path anyway. So I thought, why don't I just bring the cliff down to like where the pergola is almost, and just fill in the back part of that cliff like I was going to, and instead of leaving that space, because I thought I'll leave a space, I'll put some more trees, some flowers, but you know what? We're just going to fill it in with terraforming. And I had decided earlier on that I would not do a lot of decorating right now on this island, because it is 100% island. So to me, working on the Nook Mile achievements is more important, because they're going to take longer. But you know what? I got kind of bored doing that. So I thought, let's work on another part of the entrance. And I think that's really how this will go. I will do a build and then spend some time working on the 100% part. And then I'll come back and do another build, and just kind of back and forth like that. Now, if y'all would like to see some more videos of just Let's Play of me working on the Nook Mile achievements, trying to get these villagers switched out, anything like that, let me know in the comments, and I'll do some more Let's Play, because after all, that is my favorite part. I do like to decorate and do builds and create areas on my island that the villagers love. It really is fun to see them using the area that you build. However, that is not my strong suit. My strong suit is gameplay. So I get kind of self-conscious, I guess, or even though I tell people when I'm doing videos, do not compare your island to other islands because it's not going to live up to every one of them. You're always going to find somebody that you have in your community or your viewing community that has a much better island, and it's going to make you think, why am I even trying? And I tell people, don't do that. Your island is yours. It's your vision. It's what looks good to you, what fits on your island with your theme, what you have in mind. And here lately, I've just been throwing that advice that I give everybody else out the window. I'm looking at all of these islands and I'm like, why can't I just do that? I mean, in real life, I'm a creative, crafty person. I do lots of different crafts, and a long time ago, in another lifetime, I used to draw, do sketches. I don't do that anymore, and I don't think I'm still, I lost whatever skill of art that I had, I think, because I did not keep it up. But I still love to do crafts, and I don't know, I just get so upset sometimes with me, not with anybody else, with me, because I'm like, why can't I just make this area look like I want it to? It should not be that hard, but sometimes it is. And then I have to stop and say, you know what? Let's just make the area and then change it until hopefully we get it there. And yes, I do talk to myself a lot, y'all. I have to. I have to make sure that myself is staying as stress-free as possible with this, because there's so many stresses in life that I come to this game and to my islands to get away from that. And when I put stress on myself with the islands, I'm not doing myself any favors. But anyway, that's what I decided to do with this entrance. I made the first part. I knew I wanted a sitting area up front. I wanted it to represent my grandma country core, so that's what we did. I left what used to be Olive's house on the left. It's now Cleo's because that's who replaced her. I will not keep Cleo, so I'm not sure what I'll do. I thought, you know what, let me just kind of shave this off. I do want to make sure I round out the corners if I can, because to me it just looks better than a sharp corner. Now sometimes the sharp corners are needed, but most of the time rounding it off just looks better. So, what was I saying? Oh, I decided just to take this entrance in parts. And you can see here, I keep changing my mind as we're going. But isn't that what a creative process is all about? That's what I tell myself anyway. So we are going to extend it out some. I want it to come right up to, but not against, totally against resident services. I want some areas that you can walk past this. I don't want you to have to, I'm not funneling visitors into the resident services and then out, because I do that sometimes. But this time, I just want to represent what it means to me. I'm doing grandma core. I am a grandma, so I should have some ideas for this. And one of them, I'm going to put a ramp here because I want you to be able to go up on this cliff. And I didn't say it before, but we will be doing some time traveling. I know y'all are not surprised. And we're going to do it here in just a minute so we can get this ramp in and continue on with the process as soon as we get Lloyd taken care of. And his jiggly head. Well, I guess his whole body. Anyway. Alright. We are going to time travel. And here we are. We have the ramp in. And I'm going to warn y'all, in this video, I did not put them all, but oh my gosh. Almost every villager on this island was fussing and fighting. It's like having all the grandkids together. Not everybody's going to be happy at one time. So we did have to diffuse some situations. And like I said, I wanted to bring it on out. Not completely up against resident services totally, but really close. All this Terraform is, you know, I love to, even though I have not done it very much, I do love to flatten my islands. It's, I don't know, it's very stress relieving, very soothing just to walk around and destroy stuff, I guess. That makes sense, but it does not bother me to do that. Yes, I just realized I put myself in a corner, so I got myself back out. For this build, I thought about, because you know I said I am a grandma, I do have some insight to this. And actually, sort of, kind of, having 6 grandchildren, it's kind of different with each one, but mostly the same. It's the same as if you had 6 kids, but anyway. So I'm going to try to incorporate in this island a little bit of what I remember from my grandparents. And oh yeah, here was the first one. You won't believe this. She was reading a book, and Daisy, out of all of them, I thought maybe it was Dom or somebody, because he does that, but it's Daisy. She's already upset Sydney. So we had to diffuse the situation, give them a cookie, tell them it's going to be okay, and then go on our way. Anyway, I come from a farming background, so what I remember about going to my grandparents in the summer is being free. Of course, y'all know I'm a Gen Xer, so back then we really didn't have any parameters. We left in the morning, went and did whatever we wanted to, as long as we were back in the house by the time the light posts come on, or the lamps, whatever. We didn't have them out there, but you get the sentiment. We used to just go out. Where my grandparents lived was family land, so if you left their farm and went to some more land, you were still on family land. So we had a lot of area to run around and play and get in trouble. But the one thing that you can bet is it was all farming, ranching. So I remember the buildings, the equipment, the tractors, the plows. I remember the gardens, and I'm gonna tell y'all, you have not had a watermelon. The best tasting watermelon you will ever have is one that you steal out of your grandpa's watermelon patch. And I'm being serious. That is the best tasting watermelon, because we didn't really take food with us, and we were out, so we would pick whatever we wanted out of the garden. There was not really any water, so you just kind of dust it off on your clothes to get the dirt off, kind of shake it, and then eat it. I think that's why back then I had a really great immune system. Not so much now, but anyway, I digress. I just kind of veered off that path, didn't I? But that's what I remember. I mean, I remember the storm cellar, where, you know, having to run to it from the house when there's a tornado, and everything that was down there was where my grandmother kept all of her vegetables, because she canned and pickled her own vegetables, and it was really fun to help her do that. It's a lot of work now, but back then it was fun. And I remember all of the gardens, the cows, the open land, the hay bales. I mean, we used to run across the top of the hay bale stacks, and you could look down and you can see snakes moving through it. And we just keep on going, hoping we didn't fall, you know, kids. But that's the kind of stuff that I remember. The outdoors, the having fun. My grandfather letting me drive the tractor the first time when I was 4 years old. Had no business letting me do that. And he didn't correct me. Wherever I went. But it was open land. It was not like he was going to let anybody get hurt, except for my dad, who was standing on the back of the tractor. And I know that's not safe either, but different time back then. But that's the memories I have. Helping my grandfather farm, do his garden. I helped him. I didn't really haul the hay. I loaded the hay, because my grandfather's thing was, if you're old enough to walk, you're old enough to work. So I started at a really young age helping on his farm. Helped him move cows. He used to put me in, there was this dirt road that went down, so when we would move cows from one pasture to the other, he'd have to take them out on the road and put them through the other gate. And he used to put me at the end of that road and give me a stick and said, do not let any cows get past you. Now, mind you, I was probably about 6 years old, not very big. And I'm thinking, if that cow runs towards me, she is going wherever she wants to. But don't get me wrong, my grandfather was great. He taught me a lot. You learn a lot on a farm working. I mean, that was their livelihood, their job. That wasn't just a hobby. And he was very serious about it, but he was very teaching too. So I gained a lot in my childhood from being at my grandparents', and I really hold that today. So that is what I'm going to make this island. So you're going to see a lot of gardens, a lot of machinery, a lot of buildings, you may see a few open pastures, just how I grew up. I want this to be my childhood, if that makes any sense. So that is what I've changed my vision to for this island. Instead of, oh, what can I do for this villager? And, you know, I made Olive, when she was here, her yard is all about honey. She has beehives, flowers, and a honey stand. And that's okay, because you get all that. We didn't have any stands to sell it. That was sold in the market. But anyway, I can improvise a little. But yeah, I want this country, and I want it to be, because it's grandma core. So I want it to be what I remembered. In the house, there was my grandmother had a doily on everything. And I just grew up loving the little lace doilies. So that's why I love, which one is it? The antique furniture table, the small one. They had a lake. You went over this hill, past some of my cousins and aunts, uncles, cousins' houses, down further through a gate, through this road, and there was a lake. And so we had our own lake. It wasn't big, but yeah, they kept it there. There's Dom in the back. He's so cute. When everybody started building, they just kept the lake back where it was. So, lots of fishing. That's why I love fishing so much, y'all. My cousin, when we didn't have bait, we couldn't go to the store because this was way, way out in the country. So we would get up. He lived over the hill from my grandparents, so he would come over there, or I would go to his house. We'd have a jar with a lid with holes poked in it, and we would go look for grasshoppers, worms. We would catch our own bait and then go fishing. And it was fun. I mean, we didn't have video games and all the inside things to do. If we were inside, it was not very fun. You know, back then you had maybe 2 or 3 channels, and you had to turn the antenna, and you were the remote, so there was really no fun in that. Now on this, I could not decide which way to put the side buildings. So I put one in one direction on one side, one on the other, and I decided I liked the left side better than the right. So I changed that. I really do like using the storefronts, and this represents on my grandparents' farm. My grandmother had a little shed, and that's where she kept her gardening stuff, not the big farm stuff. And it was in the back of the house, and I just had memories of going in there with her, because we'd go in there to get some stuff to do the flowers, and then, you know, we may be feeding the chickens, so she had things in there for that. So there was a lot in that shed, and I really enjoyed it. And it did have vines growing up the side. That was some of her flowers. They would bloom certain times of the year. So I found this pattern, and I thought I'll just use it. And because that's what I remember, is the shed having the vines going up the side and the doors in the middle. And you will probably see, I was thinking about how to change my house around, and I'm going to save that for another build, but you'll see another part of my childhood when I do that. And I know the younger people that've grown up today with so much to do and all this technology, I don't know if you really understand how it was fun for us back then, but we did have a little bit more of a freedom than people do now, and we were more creative because we had to make our fun. We couldn't go to the store and get it. We didn't have cable or video games to give that to us. Now, I could not make up my mind, so what I did was I just kept it with the white. I was going to put the blue because I like the blue milk can, but it just is not going with what I'm doing here. So we're going to add some trees, some shrubs, some flowers. And hopefully make this cute. So basically, I guess what I'm saying, this area represents the back of my grandparents' house. Even the sitting area. We had lots of memories. Lots of memories. Now, they didn't have the garden benches per se, but this truly represents the back of my grandparents' house. A lot of fond memories. I'm just going to put some clover down here, just some design code so it doesn't look really empty. And a bike. We're just going to put a bike there. Gotta have something to get around on. And over here, I think I want to put, yeah, I didn't like it over there though. I said over here, but I didn't like it. I want that on the other side, so we're gonna move this back some. We're gonna push the hay bed over, and I ended up going with that because I like that a lot better. Even though some of it may change a little, the items will stay. And you can see I had a hard time deciding where I wanted that hay bed, but I knew I wanted it on the left side. Now here, I put a barrel. It's going to be on the right side. I have to move it over. And on top of the barrel, I decided to put a veggie basket. And there were, I didn't do a cellar, but also in that cellar I was talking about where we had tornadoes, there was vegetables too that had to be, that could be kept in a damp place or cool place or dark, not out in the light, that she would keep hanging up. And I can't do that here, so we just put a little bit of that in the veggie basket. Then I decided to put down some of the path, and I love this path because to me it makes it look like it's worn. There's a path worn in the grass, you know what I mean? As you can see the grass on the sides, and it looks like somebody's been walking and using this area a lot, so there's a path there. And that would have been the area around her shed because she used it every day. And I wasn't for sure what I was going to put in front, but I decided on the garden wagon in white. Veggies, flowers, that was my grandmother and her chickens. So this is my memory of all of that. And of course, we got to put down some wheat fields. One of my favorite things in the game now. I'm so glad that they put that in. Put another one here. And then we have this space that is open. So we need to do something with it. I don't want this whole area just wide open because that would not be a good representation of what I'm trying to do. So we need to put maybe a leaf pile down somewhere. right here where it kind of bends around. And then I decided it needs some trees and some flowers. And, oh, there's a balloon back there that I am not even going to try to go get. Here I want to put a stunted tree. I did not have one, so we are going to plant a sapling, just a cedar sapling. And then when it gets to the height we want it, we'll plant the fruit behind it. And I'm not going to time travel to show that because I want to get this done. So we can move on to, from here I'll probably do some more gameplay. So y'all let me know if you'd like to see that in videos or stream. Because it is almost September and I only have till December 31st to get this island into a 5-star island and 100% of everything. So, and y'all know I don't even have near the amount of fish and bugs that I need. So, we will be working. I don't have a lot left in my pocket. I think we're just going to do this shrub here. I think it'll look good. We have a flower over there. And it still needs something in the front here. I can tell you that one of my best childhood memories on my grandparents' farm, there were so many, but all of us cousins, we'd come. We have a family reunion every year, so everybody would meet there for the family reunion. It'd be all of us together, and we would be playing out in the yard, and my grandmother would make homemade ice cream. My grandfather would grill. It was just fun. And then we would be out there playing. We didn't get to see each other a lot because we all lived in different states or cities. And so it was fun to come together and play. And we would get to have a hamburger or a hot dog, whatever was cooking, and have some homemade ice cream. And I used to make homemade ice cream. I don't anymore, but I used to because I think it's just a fun thing. It's work, but it's fun. All right, so I did put this blanket down. I like it, but I'm not sure this is the color I want. But I'm gonna have to think about it because I don't have any spaces left, so I would have to replace this blanket with something. And I don't know if I want to replace it, so we'll see. Now, I put the picnic basket in front first and started looking, and I'm like, you know what, that's taller than the tea set. So I moved both of them, I switched them around. I put the picnic basket in the back and the tea set in the front. It always gets lost in my pockets, and I know to check it's not going to skip empty ones, so it's going to be the last. It's going to be filled in, so sort of. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Y'all don't pay attention to me. Anyway, I get things lost, but I find them eventually. All right. Nope, that's backwards. So turn it around. And then I had to just kind of look and see what I wanted. I had a covered wagon in my pocket, so we're going to put this in the back because, yeah, my grandparents had everything. All sorts of old farm equipment, wagons. It was awesome when you're a kid and out playing. Probably shouldn't have been playing in some of the stuff we did, but we made it. I could not really decide what I wanted to do here. So I did a couple of things. And then I ended up, like I put this path down and I made it longer than the other. I used 2 middle parts instead of just 1. And I wasn't really sure when I did this what I was going to put there. And then I was not sure if I wanted to put something there because it would cover up the sitting area. And then I go back here and you can't come back the way that you went. And that is so frustrating. See? I did put a few gyroids. And if you did not catch this island from the beginning, the gyroids, one of my subscribers came up in stream with the idea the gyroids could be the grandkids. So I did put a couple of gyroids up here just to represent us kids hanging out and playing. And thank you to Tammy and Shiloh because I have a whole bunch of grandkids. They are going to be all over the island. I want that man to leave, y'all. He will not leave. He's a starter and he's staying. He started and he's staying. I've gotten his picture twice, so he can go now. And yes, I got stuck again. I do not learn the first time. So I decided on the back side, instead of trying to cram some more stuff in, I went back there and I'm like, let me just shave this off because when I make, and y'all don't look at that mess, I'm out of room in my storage and I'm making one of every recipe and every DIY and I just haven't figured out what to do with them. So I decided to trim this off. And of course, I had to put a little bit of it back to round the corner because I didn't want to move the milkman. So we will figure out a use for that space. That's a future Nana A problem, not a now Nana A problem. Oh yeah, Sydney in turn made Phil upset. So we had Daisy make Sydney upset, and then Sydney went and told Phil that his shirt was dirty, and oh my gosh, it was something the whole time. I didn't put them all in, but I think every villager upset another villager. It was just one of those days. I'm like, what is up? Where is Mercury right now? Do we have something going on? So over here, I did put some flowers and some wheat fields, but I wasn't for sure. I thought, what about some lilies? And I really tried to like these lilies here. I didn't want to put them on the blanket. You can see I'm trying from every angle, but they just didn't look in place to me. They looked more proper, I guess I'd say, than out in the country. So we just put some flowers. Now, I wanted this last shrub somewhere. Where was I going to put it? So I decided, let's move this flower. And then I thought, okay, let's move it up. But there's a reason why the flower wasn't moved up. So I went back and put the hole back in, planted the shrub. It was a whole ordeal, y'all. Y'all, my process is so crazy. So I hope that y'all can understand what I'm doing. Because see, I told y'all I changed it. I'm taking the path off now. I decided I didn't want a path there because we really weren't going to be walking there, so not a whole lot. You would walk on the wooden path. So we're going to put some more clovers down. That is my go-to in the game when I do not have a code I like. If I don't have some flowers I like to put down or something, I just go to the clover. I think it looks good. And there was a lot of clover on my grandparents' place, so it fits right in. All right, this area, I wasn't for sure what to do, so you know what I did? Yep, you guessed it. It's time to trim the area. And you know, I'm never afraid to make it bigger than what I need and go back and trim it, because sometimes I don't know how big I want it. I don't know how big I'll need it. You know, will the trees I want fit on it? If I'm doing waterfalls, will it be big enough? So I just build it until it looks like it's done, and then I start decorating it, and if I have some areas left over, I trim it off, and then the areas that I can't trim, I just go in and put some codes or add some flowers, or maybe if I have an item that would go with it, not just something to fill in the space. If I'm going to just fill in the space, I want to use the codes. So I did go back and put the path back. I wasn't going to at first. I was just going to do that after. But I wanted to see the whole thing. I wanted to make sure that it's like I wanted and that it made sense. And what I did with the path was good. And I didn't make you watch the whole thing because I did change it up to the resident services, and I made it like 2 parts of a path, I guess is how you want to say it. Pathing, to me, sometimes it's just really, oh, this is what I need to do, stands out to me. And sometimes I'm like, what am I going to do with this? Especially if I get a path that doesn't have all the pieces that I need and I did not realize, then that's when I'm like, oh man, how do I do this? But this worked out. I just kind of made it into 2 different pathing areas. Dom was helping us. We're going to take a look now. And this is what I decided my childhood memory looked like to me. This is my grandparents' backyard, y'all. Right here, in a nutshell. Brings back a lot of fond memories. This path, we did have a wood path, but it wasn't like this. It was definitely worn, and I'm not sure it was supposed to be a path. It just ended up that way. But yeah, this is it. The flowers, the trees, the bushes. The picnic back there represents when we would have the ice cream and the cookout, and this area up front was just kind of like between the house and the backyard. You know, there wasn't a lot there. Just probably clover. Sitting area, they didn't have the garden benches, but they did have some wooden sitting arrangement. I don't know what to call it. The second part will be over here. That's what I decided to show you while I was jibber jabbering. Don't look at all that stuff up there, please. And it will kind of complement this area, but I'm not sure which part over there that's going to represent, because like I said, I have decided I'm going to represent my childhood on this island. So I hope that you have enjoyed the video and you're enjoying the series. Don't forget to hit that like button for me and leave me a comment below so my channel can get out to more people. We're over 700 now. Thank y'all so much, guys. I would love to reach 1,000 by the end of the year, but we're just going to keep going. If it happens, it happens. If not, it'll happen when it's supposed to. So, even saying that, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Come on in, be part of the family. Everybody's welcome. And I'd like at this time to give a great big shout out to my channel members. Thank you for being part of the garden. And of course, don't forget to ring that notification bell so you'll know when my next video comes out. And until then, bye y'all.